A lot of it is empowering the people, right? So ALEC has model policies on truth and taxation. The American City County Exchange has model policies on taxpayer transparency. We've been able to do that administratively as an administration, as county executive, but also working with the county legislature, passing versions of the Taxpayer Transparency Act. So there's a budget transparency website where people can engage and see where their budget dollars go, but also live streaming all of our public meetings, my public hearings as an executive, but also the legislature's public meetings, which for decades people talked about but never got it done. Now we're doing it.
Welcome to the 2026 ALEC meeting in Orlando, Florida. I'm with someone from ACE, who used to be with ALEC actually as a state legislator. Now you've gone to the county level. ACE stands for American City and County Exchange. So many of the issues at the state level you're having to face at the county level, and as I said, you're much closer to the people, so they know how to find you too, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, welcome,
absolutely.
Kevin.
Thank you.
We were talking about your tax policy and some of the innovative things you've been doing in Putnam County, New York, as the county executive, and how that has become model policy for ACE. I wonder if you can go over some of that.
Absolutely. So in Putnam County, I think we're uniquely positioned because of the size and scale of the county, where we're able to do a lot of things differently than some other counties across the state and the country. We're about 100,000 people, about an hour north of the city of New York, just between the Hudson River and the Connecticut state line. But as it comes to tax policy, we've been able to realize real savings by thinking differently and being creative with our county programs, consolidating departments where it makes sense, centralizing services for our special needs, early education programming, cutting down on transportation times for those children and families in need, but also saving taxpayer dollars. And we've been able to leverage our general fund balance, give targeted sales tax relief with an exemption that eliminated sales tax on clothes and shoes under $110 in our county, and that includes online sales, completely eliminated those sales tax. And for 3 consecutive years, we've reduced the property tax levy by a total amount of $2.5 million.
It sounds like you're doing what so many counties need to do, which is you're taking inventory of what's been effective and what isn't effective, almost a little local Doge. And that's not easy to do when you look at a big bureaucratic county-run system, and I guess most of the money is in education at the county level, and then of course you have your essential services. But is that sort of what you did? You looked at the budget as a whole and you go, well, what can we sunset? What can we fix? How can we save money? Which is a totally different attitude than most counties.
So a lot of the education programming in New York are within the school districts, but the mandated responsibilities on county government, we have our youth bureau, and we have mandated services for early intervention and the Committee on Preschool Special Education. So it's that pre-K special education services that fall on county government. And that's where you need to think differently. And for many years, we outsourced outside of the county, paying other governments and other agencies, but we were spending so much money on transporting these children, hour-plus rides to get services outside of the county, when it made more sense to centralize it, partnering with nonprofits to actually call Putnam County home, cutting down on those transportation times, getting better services closer to home, help save money. And a lot of it is empowering the people, right? So ALEC has model policies on truth and taxation. The American City County Exchange has model policies on taxpayer transparency. We've been able to do that administratively as an administration, as county executive, but also working with the county legislature, passing versions of the Taxpayer Transparency Act. So there's a budget transparency website where people can engage and see where their budget dollars go, but also live streaming all of our public meetings, my public hearings as an executive, but also the legislature's public meetings, which for decades people talked about but never got it done. Now we're doing it.
It may just be personally, but I'm much more interested in my county than I've ever been. I see the impact it's having on property taxes, and particularly when the core that struck me was the transparency part of it. It's not easy finding out what's going on at the county level, and for reasons that become clear, the taxes keep going up in my county. So tell me about the importance of transparency in government.
Absolutely, I think it's critical. So it's one of the biggest sources of information. Feedback is a breakfast of champions, right? So you got to listen to everything that's positive and also critical. It's how we learn. It's one of the reasons, like we've changed even our public transportation model and systems. One of the jokes, and it's embarrassing, for years was the fixed bus route system. Those buses had tinted windows because no one was riding the buses.
Oh, geez.
So you want to talk about transparency, it's not very transparent. The reality is they were underperforming systems. So why throw more money at a system that's not working when you can redesign it and replace it with something that actually meets the mission and delivers the service that people are expecting to get? We changed that fixed bus route system to a demand response micro-transit system, so the utilization has tripled and the cost per rider has been cut in half. So now we're actually doing what we're designed to do, but if we don't get feedback from the community, you're never going to learn and you're never going to improve that system. So we also have our mission statements for our departments and the county government conspicuously posted, so people know what is their county government supposed to do. So many people have a difficulty distinguishing the responsibilities between federal, state, county, town, village, city government. The first thing is define what your mission is. What is the county government? What are taxpayers expected to receive for what they're putting in? So that transparency piece is critical. And I even take it a step further. As the county executive, we're required as public officers in New York to file financial disclosure forms to the Board of Ethics. I take my financial disclosure form, I put it on the county website. So if anyone thinks there's a conflict of interest with something that we're doing with the vendor and me as your county executive, you can go right on there and you can look for yourself. And that's just, I think, leading by example. I'm not mandated to do it, but I do it voluntarily.
I love your transparency example of literally opening up the windows in the buses. So now people can see into the buses now?
Sure. We do it visibly and by sharing data.
Right. That's great transparency. And tell me about just being the county executive, the difference from being a state legislator. People know where you live, they know where to find you. You're finding this is more satisfying than having a state district? So
I love it. I miss parts of state government and the assembly where I was, because you're debating vigorously on policy. Obviously, the closer you get to home, there's more local issues you have to navigate. I've always prided myself on being an accessible public servant. We hold public forums in every town and every village every year. Open, no agenda, which is important, but at the same time, being accessible, being transparent, it does make it hard sometimes to go grocery shopping or to go pick up things because you're going to see people. But that's part of the job, and you own it. And I love state service, but in New York, with all the challenges we have, with a 2-to-1 majority in the state Senate and the Assembly, and a very adversarial governor, I can get more done and make a more meaningful impact as county executive, because we're the implementing arm. Many of the debates that we hear about in Washington or in Albany in New York, it's the county government that's managing a board of elections. It's the county government that's managing Department of Social Services, the emergency services, the 911 services, our sheriff's office, our senior resources, all of that. You might hear Albany politicians in Washington talk about it, but we're the ones actually delivering the service.
Rubber meets the road.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Look, Kevin Byrne, best of luck as you continue as county executive. And how long have you been there now?
I'm in my 4th year, up for election this year, and this is my 10th year of elective office, and looking forward to doing more.
It's not easy being conservative in New York State, is it?
No, it's a challenge, but Putnam County is that shining hope. We really are able to be that model, and we can show our neighbors to the north and to the south, even New York City, that you can be effective and be a limited government advocate and leader in New York.
As the Putnam, New York County Executive, I know that the American City and County Exchange, ACE, appreciate you bringing your practical experience to them, and then you can push out these model policies among your members. So appreciate you being here in Orlando at the 2026 ALEC Annual Meeting.